Hello everybody. Once again, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my video. Go ahead, let's pull up a chair. Let's get our cup of Bustelo for you morning viewers, or let's get your afternoon, evening drink, depending on what time of the day you're listening to this video. So, what I want to go ahead and talk about today is having a mindset or an attitude of gratitude. Now, what do I mean by that? It's very easy to say, but let's go ahead and let's break it down a bit, right? Truth of the matter is, we are working towards a goal, whether that's the short term, the long term, the midterm, working all towards these things. But as we're doing this, we just want to make sure that we're aligning, we're vibrating towards what we're looking for. Now, I know that was a lot of spiritual talk, so let me go ahead and let's break it down. So as we're going along, we want to make sure that our mindset is in tune with the things that we want. We want to make sure that we have, we keep sustaining that fire. We keep, building upon what we want to do. But in order for our mind and our body to get to those points, we want to make sure that we're thinking alongside what we're doing. We want our emotions to essentially conjunct with our ideas. Let me break it to you like this, right? So in my goals, right? My purpose, I'm looking to become a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and counting figure earner. Probably heard it on this channel before, and you will continue to hear this particular sentiment because my mindset is I'm going to get to that particular point. Now, in terms of getting there, in terms of needing to get to those levels, I have to make sure that my mind is telling myself, okay, I'm working towards these goals, again, short, midterm, long term. And I'm also, in a way, allowing my mindset, allowing my thoughts to be able to think about getting those goals accomplished, being able to think about getting myself to that next level. So here's where the attitude with the attitude with gratitude comes into play. See, if I keep thinking to myself, I am grateful for getting to that point. Now, of course, at least not yet, I'm not at that point. However, if I'm subconsciously thinking about the things that I want, so I'm thinking about becoming a master Forex trader, if I'm thinking about becoming a successful podcaster, if I'm thinking about getting those 10, 11, 12 and counting figures, if I'm thinking about all the things, all the ideas that I have, once those funds come to me, once I'm able to get the things that I need, then all the actions that we do, all the work that we put in, all the daily goals that we achieve, all the midterm goals that we achieve, all the long-term goals we achieve, with that attitude, it allows you to be able to get to a place where you can accomplish them and not be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not have to deal with those particular roadblocks as much. Now, of course, there are always going to be roadblocks. Not everything is going to come to you without opposition, but it's that attitude that you have, it's that mindset that you have, that when you look at this particular roadblock, you don't see it as a roadblock, just a small bump in the road, just something that you have to navigate through. We can, if we're going to picture this like a river, right? So you're going down the river, and you see that there is a rock in the way. Now, you can think of this in two ways. Either one, that that's the end of the road, and you stop and you exit out the river. Now, the other way is that you're able to see, what lies ahead of that rock. You're able to navigate around that rock, around that roadblock, and be able to travel down the river as well. Keep continuing to travel along that river. Now, what that is going to take, though, is just that, and again, the river, that river concept, it's very simple, but think of what we're doing as going, as going along the river, just going through and essentially going along with the flow of your own journey. And you are going to see those little rocks that try to stop you. But with that attitude, with gratitude, being able to see, what is coming down the line, being able to, visualize what is coming if you keep following along this river. When you get to, maybe not necessarily at the end, but, just places that you can see, you're going to be able to take down those roadblocks one at a time. And it's only through that changing of your subconscious, that changing of, not thinking about the fear, not thinking about, what can go wrong, not thinking about the bad, not necessarily the bad, but the negative energy. If we're able to mitigate that and allow our subconscious to be able to mitigate those thoughts from creeping, mitigate those rocks, those roadblocks from obstructing or interrupting you as you travel along your own path, then it's all going to come to you. You're going to be able to, again, push past your limits each and every day. But it all comes down to programming your mind in such a way that you are going to be able to do so. Now, there are a few things, that I've been doing in order to be able to do that. And I figured I'd share these particular tips with you. Now, I also want to, do a disclaimer and say, these tips I have learned from other YouTubers, other YouTube channels, and I'll be more than happy to post those particular YouTube channels down the description below. So, make sure that you're able to check out the description for more information. But let me go ahead and share a few tips along with everybody. Number one, get into a meditation. Now, when everyone thinks meditation, it's like, oh man, I don't have the time to, to sit for an hour, 2 hours. I don't have that particular patience. And I say, okay, no problem. I don't necessarily, have an hour or 2 hours myself, to sit around and do the meditation. Rather, what I do is I've got about 12, 13 minute little recording, little hypnosis, if you will, little meditation music. And that just, repeats positive affirmations for me in order for me to make sure that my subconscious is conditioned in a way where it can't go back to that fear. Now, that fear is always going to come. Let me go ahead and back up. You are not going to not experience fear. That is not the intention of this video. This is not the purpose for doing that. More so, we're just wanting to work on how to mitigate that energy from interrupting your own path. So, meditation, about 12 minutes. I do that twice a day, either during the morning or afternoon, and then I make sure to either have an evening or a nightcap doing the same thing. So that's number one. Number two, I have been working on a I am grateful journal. Now, let's talk about this I am grateful journal. So I'm going to go back and share a few thoughts from when I first started doing this. So I've got about, let me go ahead and just quickly check. There is about a good 7 days so far of me doing this, and I will continue to do this, and I will continue to update the channel on how that's going and everything. But I've gone ahead and I have created myself an I am grateful journal. Now, this I am grateful journal has things in there that are not presently at this particular point in time accomplished. However, it's me putting those thoughts, scripting it on paper, which allows then my thoughts that are in my head that are all about my dreams and my aspirations to be scripted down, to be written out in the physical sense, so that is physically present on paper more so than just being in my head. Now, what does that do? All right, so let's just talk about that. What does that do? Well, what that does, it starts that particular goal, that particular objective, that particular vision from being realized. Again, it starts. It doesn't work like this. No, it does not work like that. It's not overnight. It is not a day. What it does, though, is allows you to build a small step. It allows you to at least start the motion, the energy of what you need in order to get those goals done. And again, I've done this for about 7 days. And so far, it has allowed me to get myself moving forward in the right direction. That's really what we need to get ourselves to at least acknowledge. That in order to make sure that we want to get those goals done, in order to make sure that we get those objectives done. Again, I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking to everyone here. This is a mirror. This is a two-way conversation between myself and the viewer. What we are doing is we're just wanting to get ourselves down the right path. What we are wanting to do is essentially get ourselves just that little ball rolling. Again, we don't have what we're, it all comes back to getting the small things done first. Then you work on the medium things and you work on the big things. Now, it doesn't all happen at once, but you have to just start the process. I heard a great quote from Zig Ziglar, I think his name is. You don't have to be great in order to get started, but you have to start the process before you become great. Again, you just have to start. You don't have to, forget all the expectations you have in your mind of getting things done quick and easy, because that's not it. Life is never about things becoming easy, even if we really want it to be. No, it takes work. Everything takes work, but it's the amount that we do each and every day that is going to add up. And so I encourage everybody, at the end of this video, again, I'm going to go ahead and just drop a couple of recommendations of some YouTube channels that I've been listening to kind of help me along this particular journey. But what I would recommend is that everybody first get into the mindset that you are going to accomplish what you set out for to accomplish. And then once you do that, write down, think about the things you want to get done, write it down on a piece of paper. And after you do that, perhaps say this to yourself: I'm grateful for getting those things done. Because once you start to say that, And once you start to think that those things have already been done, then it's just a matter of us in the present form getting those things that our future self has already done in order to live the best life possible. Everybody, go be great and go be blessed.